Marnie Bennett from the Bennett Real Estate Professionals, and as you know, I'm the condo queen of Ottawa, and we're doing something a little different today because I get a lot of questions of how do they actually build a high-rise? What are all the secrets behind it? How do they start in getting the basement done? How do they get the windows done? So I'm going to do a different series, and we're starting off at Ashcroft Homes at 101 Richmond, which is part of Q West in Westboro, and we're going to be meeting Richard. Richard Mason is the high-rise specialist here, and we're going to have a fantastic tour. So I hope you really enjoy our tour of 101 Richmond Road. And I have Richard Mason here with me right now from Ashcroft. And hi, Richard. I want to talk to you a little bit about building. How long have you been in the business?
I've been in construction industry for 15 years now. So I started off as a carpenter, and now I'm a site superintendent on a kind of building like this that you see today.
Now, Richard, there's a lot of challenges. A lot of people say to me, can you start construction with our climate in the winter time? So what kind of challenges are we looking? I see there's a lot of orange curtains here. So tell me about some of your challenges.
Yeah, well, we're on the ground floor right now, and this whole floor was heated basically for us to stage the building. When equipment comes into the building, we want it to be nice temperature that we can move things around. It's also good for heating the floors above us. It helps the concrete to cure. As you see the building going up, and some of the people who have purchased here probably noticed when they went by, they'd see a floor topped off, and we'd be heating the concrete from underneath. So yeah, it's some of the things. It slows us down a little going through the winter, but it doesn't stop us by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, that's great, because I know as Canadians we're used to this kind of climate. Now, the other thing I found intriguing, of course, we're in an infill site. We're right in Westboro, and I noticed, I think one of the hardest things, I think, and I could be wrong, is getting out of the ground. And you have, I believe, 2 levels of parking, and there's bracing. So tell me a little bit about getting out of the ground, where the underground parking, what you have to do there.
Sure, yeah. It's actually 3 levels. But we drive in shoring piles around the building. That enables us to dig a hole without the sides caving in on us. Then basically we dig the footings for the building. Sometimes it involves blasting of the rock out, which that's where the time takes up. Then the building slowly rises out. Usually it takes about 3 months to get down, and sometimes it can take 3 months to get back up again. So depending on the level and the site and the conditions as well.
Well, I noticed too as well when I was in a room one time, and if I had to say how many engineers and trades are involved, if I had to fill my dining room and I was serving, what would you say, 100 trades at least in a high-rise, or and professionals?
Yeah, I mean, they come in different stages depending when they're required. Like, we've just basically finished the concrete structure now. So the concrete guys are leaving, and now we're seeing drywalling guys coming in, people doing steel studs. We're seeing windows coming in now. So we may have up to 20 trades here at one time, and then but it's always different, and it's a revolving door. There's different people coming in. Later on, we're going to see tilers and all the finishing trades, you know. Now,
sound attenuation is one of the questions we get a lot. So can you describe who comes in and at what different stages you do sound attenuation?
Yeah, like the main concern, I guess, for a purchaser is hearing the neighbors, and we want to try and avoid that. So in this building here, and we'll see it later on upstairs, we have a double wall scenario where we're getting a fire rating on that wall. So fire cannot spread from one neighbor to another neighbor, and also it's eliminating the sound. And then we add the insulation into those walls, we close it up, and we should have a really good sound barrier.
That's great. Now, the other thing I was looking at, we see there's piping in here now. I gather that's some roughing, you can explain. And then I thought those were windows over there, but you're telling me that's doors. So when do you start closing in the building with windows and doors?
Okay, yeah, that's the procedure we're starting right now. We're installing door frames everywhere where there's concrete. We're basically installing door frames into any of those openings right now. The windows are going in on the 2nd floor, and we'll move up on those hopefully like one floor a week. So yeah, now we want to get closed, and we want to start being able to put drywall in and start taping, and we can't do that if we're exposed to the elements.
Well, that's great, Richard. So now we're going to go up and see some of the views and see some of the units and the suites, how they're divided. Well, here's Richard and I. We're in Unit 206 for some lucky homeowner that's going to be moving in here in the next few months. And we're on the balcony. And we have behind us Q West, because 101 is the first building to be part of Q West, and we see the convent behind us. This Westboro development of Q West is going to be absolutely phenomenal by Ashcroft. So Richard, I'm looking beside us here, and I now the windows, I think, are going in here. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. These windows are just being placed in the hole right now. They're not secured yet, but we'll see these get built in pretty soon. We'll see some glass in them, and then, as I said to you, it's the goal for us to get these closed in so we can really start working on finishing the inside of the units.
Well, it's very exciting in this particular unit. I see there's a lot of open rail here, and that, I believe, is all going to be windows. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a very, very nice unit for letting in light. You're going to get all the light coming in from the west for the sunsets and everything. It's a beautiful unit. Absolutely.
Well, you know, the views are actually quite phenomenal here. On the second floor, I can see the Gatineau Hills here as well. And I see now you have all the unit framed in. Is that called, what kind of studding is that exactly?
Just steel stud work, basic steel stud. And we just attach the drywall directly to this.
You know, it's quite phenomenal to me that I can see now all this rough-in wiring is in. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's all pulled in here now.
And the plumbing is as well?
The plumbing is roughed in. We haven't got any water running to the units at this point, but that's something that can happen pretty quickly now.
Now, when do you think the cabinets and, you know, when I can start seeing some nice flooring and your granite countertops and all the cabinets, what timeline from this would we roughly say?
Yeah, about 3 to 4 months from now. Maybe we can do better than 3 months, and hopefully we can. But yeah, you'll start seeing some finishes coming through very soon.
This will be very exciting. So now we're going to go up onto the very top floor. We're going to see the views. I've heard that they are absolutely phenomenal. So let's see what's happening. Well, here Richard and I are on the rooftop terrace of 101, and the views are phenomenal. So what are we seeing here, Richard? What do you think?
Yeah, well, if you can see the river wrapping around here, looking out to the west and far north. We can obviously see the hills over there in Quebec. And looking down onto our east, we can see the Peace Tower and the city there. It's a pretty nice place.
This is going to be great. And what we also have here, folks, is we're going to be having a hot tub. So can you imagine fireworks celebrations from your hot tub? And then we're also having outdoor dining areas, because this is something very popular now that people like to have opportunities to have all their family and friends over. And also we're going to be having sun areas. Now, Richard, when does the rooftop terrace come in?
It's one of the last things we'll do towards the end of the job. We're going to concentrate on getting these units finished first. We'll have the ground floor and all the amenities down there done. This is something we'll just put together right at the very end. But right now we've got the roof in place. We have all of the window washing supports in place, and we're ready to go. It's watertight and the roof is in place. Now it's just the finishing stages of it.
Well, I can only visualize how great this is going to be. I mean, it's a nice sunny day today. In the summer, it'll be phenomenal. The fall, the leaves. And right between the trees right now, I can see the top of the convent. So, I mean, imagine being in the heart of Westboro. You have to come down and see 101, but you need to see Q West. We're going to be talking about the different developments here. Ashcroft is probably one of the first developers ever to have all of this kind of activity happening in one area in the most vibrant part of Ottawa called Westboro. When this is all finished, when you have Q West, you have 101, 111, there's 98, 108. This is going to have over 3,000 residents here. We're going to be having festival areas, festival square. This is something, folks, you want to see. So give us a call at the Bennett Pros at 613-233-8606 or get online at bennettpros.com. And we're going to be having a different series as we're going along with Richard. We're going to be seeing all of these buildings come and the finished product and having all of our customers see how they enjoy it. So Richard, thank you very much for this private tour, and I guess in a few weeks we'll be back.